A preacher's dog kept digging in the same spot. What he found changed everything. They called him Moses, and he was about to reveal a buried truth. Wyoming Territory, 1885. The town of Redemption sat peaceful in the valley. Church, school, general store, 50 families, quiet, God-fearing, safe, or so everyone thought. Reverend Jonathan had served the community for 3 years. Good man, honest, devoted. His wife, Sarah, taught at the school. They had no children, but they had Moses, a Bernese Mountain Dog, 5 years old, black, white, and rust-colored coat. Gentle giant, loved by everyone. Moses accompanied Jonathan everywhere. Church services, home visits, community events. The dog was part of the town's fabric, trusted, beloved. But lately, Moses was acting strange, obsessed with a particular spot, behind the old abandoned mill. Nobody used that building anymore. Been empty 5 years, since the previous owner disappeared. Moses would dig there, frantically. Jonathan would call him away. The dog would return next day. Same spot. Always the same spot. Jonathan tried everything. Kept Moses inside. The dog whined at the door. Let him out. Moses ran straight to the mill. Back to that spot. Started digging again. "What's gotten into him?" Sarah asked. "I don't know. He's never acted like this. Maybe there's something buried there. An animal, perhaps? I've looked. There's nothing visible. Just dirt." But Moses insisted, day after day, week after week, digging at the same location, 10 feet from the mill's back wall. Jonathan grew concerned, not just about Moses's behavior, about what it meant. Dogs didn't obsess without reason, especially not Moses. The Bernese was calm, steady, reliable. This behavior was completely out of character. Something was there. Something Moses could sense. Something important. Jonathan decided to investigate properly. Get help. Dig deeper. Find whatever Moses was trying to show them. He asked the church deacon, Robert, strong man, practical, good with tools. "Robert, I need help. Moses keeps digging behind the old mill. I want to excavate properly, see what's there." Robert frowned. "That mill's been abandoned 5 years, since Garrett disappeared. Left town suddenly, nobody knows why." "I remember, but Moses is insistent. There's something there." "You think Garrett buried something?" "I don't know what to think, but I need to find out. Will you help?" Robert agreed. They gathered tools, shovels, picks, went to the mill the next morning. Moses was already there, digging. Excited when he saw them, like he'd been waiting, hoping someone would finally listen. Jonathan marked the spot. "Here, this is where Moses always digs." They started excavating. Carefully, methodically. 1 foot down, nothing. 2 feet, still nothing. 3 feet, Robert's shovel hit something. Solid, not rock. Something else. They cleared the dirt carefully. Revealed a wooden box. Large, 2 feet by 3 feet, buried deliberately. Hidden. Robert and Jonathan exchanged looks. "Should we open it?" Robert asked. "We have to. Moses led us here for a reason." They lifted the box. Heavy, carried it into the sunlight. Moses watched, intense, focused. Jonathan opened the latch. Inside, documents, ledgers, money, lots of money. And something else. A journal. Jonathan picked it up, read the first page. His face went pale. "What is it?" Robert asked. "Garrett's journal. This is evidence of crimes, theft, fraud, extortion." "What?" Jonathan kept reading, page after page. Details of illegal activities, names, dates, amounts. Garrett had been stealing from businesses, from the bank, from individuals, systematically, for years. And he hadn't worked alone. Jonathan's hands shook. "Robert, some of these names, they're people we know, respected people, still living here." "Who?" "I can't say yet, not until I've read everything, confirmed everything." But Jonathan's mind raced. The journal implicated the mayor, the bank manager, 3 prominent businessmen, all still in redemption, all still trusted, respected, in positions of power. They'd been part of Garrett's scheme. When he disappeared, they must have assumed the evidence disappeared with him. But he'd buried it. Insurance, maybe? Or conscience? Either way, it was all here. Proof of everything. "What do we do?" Robert asked. "We take this to the marshal. Let the law handle it." "The marshal's in the journal, too." Jonathan's stomach dropped. He flipped pages. Found it. Marshal Davies. Paid to look the other way. Paid to protect the operation. He was compromised, corrupt. "Then we go to the territorial governor, send this to Cheyenne. That'll take days, and if word gets out..." "We keep this quiet. Tell no one, not even Sarah. Not yet. Someone will notice us digging, ask questions," Jonathan thought. "We say we were helping Moses, found nothing. Just let him dig it out, satisfied his curiosity. That's all." Robert nodded. "And the box?" "Hidden, in my cellar, behind the coal. Nobody goes there but me." They reburied the empty hole, made it look natural, carried the box to the parsonage, hid it carefully. Moses watched everything, calm now, satisfied. His job was done. He'd found what he was searching for. Jonathan spent that night reading. Every page, every entry. The scope was staggering. Garrett and his partners had stolen over $50,000 from dozens of victims. Some were individuals who'd lost savings. Others were businesses driven to closure. Lives ruined, futures destroyed. All for greed. And the perpetrator still walked free, still held power, still trusted. Morning came. Jonathan acted normal, conducted services, visited the sick, smiled, greeted people, all while knowing what he knew, seeing people differently now. The mayor, sitting in his usual pew, looking pious, righteous, singing hymns. Had he sung those same hymns while stealing from widows? The bank manager, shaking hands, making small talk. Had those hands signed documents that ruined families? Jonathan felt sick, but he maintained composure, had to, until he could get the evidence to Cheyenne, until justice could be served. That afternoon, Mayor Harrison approached. "Reverend, heard you and Robert were digging behind the old mill yesterday." Jonathan's blood ran cold. Someone had seen them. Talked? "Yes, my dog Moses was obsessed with a spot there. We helped him dig, satisfied his curiosity, found nothing." "Nothing? You're sure?" "Just dirt. Why do you ask?" Harrison smiled, tight. "No reason, just curious. That mill's been abandoned so long. Wondered if anything remained?" "Just memories, Mayor, just memories." Harrison nodded, walked away. But Jonathan saw it, the tension, the worry, the suspicion. Harrison knew something was buried there, had probably been worried about it for 5 years, and now someone had been digging. Jonathan had to move fast, before they realized what he'd found, before they tried to stop him. Moses had exposed the secret. Now, Jonathan had to expose the criminals. That night, Jonathan wrote everything down. Detailed report, summarizing the journal, listing names, crimes, evidence. He sealed it with copies of key journal pages, addressed it to the territorial governor. But how to send it? The post office was run by Harrison's nephew. He'd see the address, report to his uncle. The package would disappear. Jonathan needed another way, someone trustworthy, someone above suspicion. Sarah found him at his desk, late, still writing. "Jonathan, come to bed. What are you working on?" He hesitated, wanted to protect her, keep her safe, but he needed help. "Sarah, sit down. I need to tell you something, and you can't tell anyone, not a soul." He explained everything. Moses, the box, the journal, the crimes, the names. Sarah's face went white. "The mayor? Mr. Peterson at the bank? They've been stealing. For years, and they're still doing it, just more carefully now. What are you going to do?" "Send this to Cheyenne, to the governor. But I can't use the post office." Sarah thought. "The circuit judge. He's due in 3 days, passing through on his way to Laramie. You could give it to him directly." Jonathan nodded. Perfect. Judge Morrison was honest, incorruptible, known throughout the territory. He'd ensure the evidence reached the right hands. 3 days. Jonathan just had to keep the secret 3 more days. But keeping secrets in small towns was nearly impossible. Rumors started. People had seen Jonathan and Robert digging, seen them carry something away. Whispers spread. What did they find? Why the secrecy? Harrison's friends began watching, following. The bank manager, Peterson, stopped by the parsonage. "Reverend, heard an interesting rumor that you found something behind the mill." "Just helped my dog dig. He was obsessed with the spot." "Find anything interesting?" "Just dirt and old wood, nothing valuable." Peterson's eyes narrowed. "You'd tell the community if you found something important, wouldn't you? Something that affected us all." "Of course, I'm a man of God. Truth is my foundation." Peterson smiled. Cold. "Good. Because secrets destroy communities, Reverend. Destroy trust. We wouldn't want that." The threat was clear. Subtle but unmistakable. They suspected. And they were watching. Jonathan had to be more careful. 2 more days. Just 2 more days. That night, Jonathan moved the box from the cellar to the church, hid it beneath the altar, behind the communion table. Nobody would look there. Nobody would dare. It was sacrilege even to consider. But he took extra precaution, told Moses to guard. The Bernese understood, lay down in the church, watching, protecting. Jonathan went home, tried to sleep, couldn't. Too much at stake, too many people watching. Around midnight, Moses started barking, loud, urgent, from the church. Jonathan grabbed his coat, ran across the yard, found Moses at the church door, growling, hackles raised. The door was open, had been forced. Jonathan entered carefully, lit a lamp. The altar area was disturbed. Someone had been searching, looking for the box. But Moses had scared them away before they found it. The box remained safe, hidden. Jonathan's heart pounded. They knew, or suspected strongly enough to act. He couldn't keep the evidence here, couldn't keep it at the parsonage. Nowhere was safe. Then he remembered. Sarah's sister lived on a ranch 10 miles out. Nobody would think to look there. Before dawn, Jonathan rode out. Box wrapped in canvas, Moses running alongside. They reached the ranch at sunrise. Mary, Sarah's sister, answered his knock. "Jonathan, what brings you here so early?" "I need a favor, no questions. Can you hide this for 2 days? Keep it absolutely secret?" Mary saw his expression, the urgency, the fear. "Is Sarah in danger?" "Not if nobody knows about this. Please, Mary, trust me." She took the box. 2 days. Then what? Then it goes to Judge Morrison, and everything changes. Jonathan rode back to town, arrived before most people woke. Moses beside him. The dog had saved the evidence twice now, first by finding it, then by guarding it. Without Moses, the truth would still be buried. The criminals would remain free. Jonathan conducted morning prayers, normal routine, but his mind counted hours. 36 hours until the judge arrived. 36 hours to keep the secret, to stay alive, to protect what Moses had found. That afternoon, the town council called an emergency meeting. Jonathan was summoned, required to attend. He entered the town hall. 5 council members, all named in the journal, all compromised. Harrison sat at the head. "Reverend, thank you for coming. We have concerns." "About what?" "About rumors, about secrets, about things that might damage community trust." "I don't know what you mean." Peterson leaned forward. "We think you do. We think you found something. Something that doesn't belong to you. Something you should return." "I found nothing but dirt." "Then you won't mind if we search the church, the parsonage, just to eliminate doubt." Jonathan's blood ran cold. They were calling his bluff, forcing his hand. "That's sacrilege. You have no right." "We have every right. We're the town council. We protect this community." "From what? From truth?" The room went silent. Harrison's face darkened. "Careful, Reverend. Accusations are dangerous, especially false ones." "I've made no accusations. Yet." "Yet. Interesting word. Implies you're planning to?" Jonathan stood. "This meeting is over. You have no authority to search church property, and you have no right to intimidate me." "We're not intimidating. We're protecting redemption from people who destroy it with lies." "Truth isn't lies, Mayor, and it always comes out. Always." Jonathan left, heart pounding. He'd shown his hand, made them certain he had evidence, but what choice did he have? 30 hours. Had to survive 30 hours. That night, someone tried to burn the church. Failed. Moses alerted neighbors. They extinguished the flames quickly. Minimal damage. But the message was clear. Desperate men doing desperate things. The marshal investigated, went through motions, found nothing. Blamed accident, faulty lamp. Nobody believed it. Everyone knew, but nobody spoke. Fear had settled over redemption. Jonathan and Sarah stayed at the church that night, with Moses, guarding, waiting. Robert came, stood watch with them. "This has gone too far," he said. "They're trying to kill you, burn evidence. We should tell people, get help." "From who? The marshal's corrupt, the council's corrupt, the judge comes tomorrow. We just need to last until then." "And if they try again?" "Then Moses alerts us, and we fight, but we don't give up. Too many people have been hurt by these men. Too many lives destroyed. Justice has to come. Sarah held Jonathan's hand. I'm proud of you. Scared, but proud. Moses found the truth. I just have to deliver it. That's all. Word spread fast. The dog that completed the route, that ran 25 miles alone, carrying the mail, when his rider fell. Every express station heard the story. Every rider, every keeper. Rider became famous, legendary. The express superintendent visited, weeks later. Jack, I heard about your run, about what Ryder did. Remarkable, unprecedented. He saved the route, sir, saved me. I want to recognize that, officially. Ryder is hereby designated an honorary Pony Express rider, first dog in history. The superintendent pinned a small badge on Ryder's collar, official express insignia. The dog wore it proudly, from that day forward. Everyone knew, if something happened, if Jack fell, if the horse failed, Ryder could complete the route, alone. That knowledge changed everything, made the route safer, made the express stronger. One dog, one impossible run, proved that loyalty, endurance, intelligence could overcome any obstacle. Jonathan rode to Mary's ranch immediately, Moses running alongside. Sarah stayed in town with Robert, safe at the church, too dangerous for her to come. The ride felt longer than 10 miles. Every shadow, every sound. Jonathan expected ambush, but nothing came. They reached the ranch. Mary had the box ready. I heard about the fire in town. Are you safe? For now. The judge is here. This goes to him today. Then it's over. Be careful, Jonathan. Desperate men do terrible things. He knew. He'd seen it. The burned church. The threats. The fear. But he was so close to ending it. They rode back toward town. Different route, through the hills, avoiding the main road, just in case. Moses suddenly stopped, growled, alert. Danger. Jonathan looked around, saw movement. 3 riders, coming fast. He recognized them. Peterson, 2 other council members, armed. They'd been watching the roads, waiting. Jonathan kicked his horse, ran. Moses kept pace, but they were faster, better horses, closing distance. They couldn't outrun them. Jonathan veered off trail, into the rocks, terrain too rough for horses at speed. He dismounted, grabbed the box, started climbing. Moses with him. The 3 men reached the rocks, dismounted, followed on foot. Reverend, stop! We just want to talk! Jonathan kept climbing. No conversation would help. They wanted the evidence, would kill for it, had to. He reached a ridge, looked for escape, saw the valley below, town visible in distance, so close. But first, he had to survive this. Moses positioned himself between Jonathan and the pursuers, protective stance, teeth visible, warning growl. Peterson appeared first, gun drawn. Give us the box, Reverend. Nobody needs to die here. You'd kill a preacher, a man of God? We'll kill anyone who threatens our lives, our freedom, our families. The other 2 appeared, flanking, surrounding. Think about Sarah, Peterson continued. Think about your future. Give us the box, we'll let you go. You forget what you saw. We forget this happened. And all the people you stole from, they just accept their losses? They've already accepted them. 5 years. Nobody's complained. Nobody's questioned. Why destroy everything now? Because it's wrong. Because justice matters. Because Moses led me to the truth for a reason. Moses is a dog, an animal, and you're willing to die for what he dug up? Jonathan held the box tighter. I'm willing to die for what's right. Are you willing to kill for what's wrong? The standoff held. 3 armed men, 1 unarmed preacher, 1 protective dog. Nobody moved. Then Moses charged. Not attacking, distracting, running at Peterson. The man stumbled backward, startled, lost his footing on loose rocks, fell hard. His gun discharged, wild shot, hit nothing, but the sound echoed, loud, clear. Judge Morrison's camp was close, close enough to hear, close enough to investigate. The other 2 men hesitated, looked at each other, calculating. Was killing Jonathan worth it now, with the judge possibly hearing, coming to investigate? They grabbed Peterson, helped him up. This isn't over, Peterson hissed. They retreated, quickly, didn't want to be found here, didn't want to explain why they'd chased a preacher into the rocks. Jonathan collapsed, shaking. Moses returned, sat beside him. The dog had saved him again, bought time, created doubt, given them a chance. Jonathan waited 30 minutes, making sure they were gone, then descended carefully, retrieved his horse, rode directly to the judge's camp, found Judge Morrison with his deputies. "Reverend, you look shaken. What happened?" Jonathan explained. The chase, the confrontation, the threats. Judge Morrison's face darkened. "They're more desperate than I thought, more dangerous. Deputy Collins, ride to Fort Laramie, request federal marshals immediately. Tell them we have multiple suspects in conspiracy and attempted murder." The deputy rode out fast. "Reverend, you and your wife need protection. Stay at my camp tonight. We leave for Cheyenne at dawn. You're coming with us. What about redemption? Sarah? Bring her here, now, with your dog. You're all at risk until those men are arrested." Jonathan rode back to town, found Sarah at the church, explained everything. They gathered essentials. Moses led them out of town, to the judge's camp. Safe. Finally safe. That night, Jonathan couldn't sleep, kept thinking about how close he'd come to death, how Moses had saved him multiple times, how a dog's instincts had exposed an entire criminal conspiracy. 3 days later, federal marshals arrived in Redemption, 6 of them, armed, authorized. They arrested Harrison, Peterson, the other council members, the corrupt marshal, all of them, charged with fraud, theft, conspiracy, attempted murder. The town was shocked. Their leaders, their trusted officials, all criminals. The evidence was overwhelming. Garrett's journal, the stolen money, victim testimony. Trials were scheduled. Justice was coming. Jonathan and Sarah returned to Redemption. Different town now, confused, hurt, betrayed. Many had lost faith in leadership, in institutions, in people. Jonathan called a special service. The church was packed. Everyone came, needing answers, needing hope. "I know you're hurt," Jonathan began. "I know you feel betrayed. These men you trusted, they failed you, stole from you, lied to you." Silence. Everyone listening. "But I want to tell you about Moses, about a dog who wouldn't stop digging, who knew something was wrong, who persisted until the truth came out." He told the whole story, how Moses obsessed over that spot, how Jonathan finally listened, how they found the evidence, How Moses protected it, saved Jonathan's life, exposed the corruption. The search party found Jack, 20 miles out, walking, limping badly. They brought him back. The veterinarian examined Ryder. His paws, his joints, he's run his last long route. Time to retire. The express superintendent agreed. Ryder retires with full honors. 2 impossible runs. He's done more than any dog in express history. They held a ceremony. Jack stood with Ryder. He served 3 years, ran thousands of miles, completed 2 legendary solo runs, never failing. He's the best rider I've ever known. Jack and Ryder retired together. Jack took a station keeper job. Ryder lived peacefully. When Ryder passed in 1865, Jack buried him beside the express station. Ryder, 1857 to 1865, Pony Express dog. He completed the route twice. The Pony Express lasted 18 months, but Ryder's legacy lasted forever. The greatest Pony Express rider wore a collar, had 4 legs, and his endurance changed history.